met, it was kind of one of those crazy, intense, you know, nitroglycerin getting dropped kind of relationships.
Rock journalist Anthony Boza wrote Tommyland, the autobiography of rocker Tommy Lee. While writing the book, Anthony lived with Tommy to get a unique look into the rocker's life.
My take on Tommy is that he's like a 5-year-old, a horny 14-year-old, and a 44-year-old in one package, existing together at once. You know, he gets so enthusiastic about stuff. And women just melt. They just see like the little boy and the bad boy, you know, and I think it inspires like, oh, I'm gonna take care of you, and then like, ooh, I should be afraid of you at once. I mean, he's kind of got it all covered. Anywhere I'd go with him, some woman of some age is gonna freak out and run up and, you know, give him a kiss and everything like that. And a lot of really unlikely kind of sources, you know. Not your typical, it's not just like rock chicks like Tommy. It's basically like a huge cross-section of the female population.
Pamela Anderson is just as irresistible.
There's a reason why she's been on the cover of Playboy more than anyone else, and it's not just for her natural beauty. It's like she really is kind of the ultimate Playboy playmate. Pam's definitely got a wild side, you know? She likes rocker types. She likes like riding on the back of motorcycles.
The biggest thing with me is I just want to have fun.
Tommy fell for the blonde bombshell the first time he saw her.
Just kind of locked in and was calling her all the time, and basically to the point that she said, okay, I will spend 24 hours with you, and then you have to leave me alone and you can never talk to me again. And they did, and then you know, it just kind of went on from there.
His persistence paid off, and a whirlwind romance began.
It's a question of two very intense personalities coming together very quickly, head over heels in love. You know, they're huge celebrities. There's no boundaries to what they can do, how much they can spend, what, you know. They can do anything they want, basically, all of the time.
My mom, I'll call her and tell her everything. She's like, oh, it's always something with you, isn't it?
Many wondered what Pamela was getting herself into, marrying this hard-partying rock star.
Best strip clubs, best beer.
Stories of Motley Crue's sexual escapades are legendary. But according to Tommy, he was a one-woman man while he was with Pam.
If I've just heard him say that in some interview, I'd be like, whatever, guy, yeah, sure. You know, yeah, I'm sure you're monogamous till you're on tour again. But after spending time with him and, you know, living with him and knowing him, it's really about this focus thing that he has.
The union of the Playboy playmate and the tattooed hellraiser attracted a lot of attention.
Pam is one of those people that the paparazzi just adores. The media attention was something Tommy was not used to at all. You know, like the paparazzi doesn't follow Motley Crue around, the groupies do. It's a different kind of people, a different kind of stalking. So, you know, he didn't really react very well to that and got himself into a hell of a lot of trouble.
Pam and Tommy found their lives splashed across tabloid headlines almost daily.
My dad, you know, he used to always tell me, you know, he doesn't read any of the crap, he just reads the Inquirer and the Star. And I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you about that, but whatever. And he goes, he saw me in one of those magazines, and he said that in there it said that I was at a wedding and I ate the entire buffet to myself. And so I said, Dad, I wasn't even at a wedding and I never ate the entire buffet. And he goes, I still don't think that's appropriate behavior. I was like, oh no. And then as it's gone on, he's kind of realizing, now it's starting to sink into him where it's not true. But, you know, people just believe what they read. You know, I had to talk my father into not believing it, so I can imagine what, you know, the average person thinks.
Tommy was involved in some well-documented scuffles with the paparazzi. But as a couple, Pamela and Tommy were happy.
I think that period they were both just celebrating their love and partying like rock stars, you know? They were having kind of a, like, young, in love, just married, wild life.
The couple had 2 sons, Brandon in 1996 and Dylan in 1997.
They both really are a combination of Pam and Tommy. One looks a little more like Pam, the other looks more like Tommy, and the personalities are split that way too. Like Pam's very talkative and very inquisitive, and she talks really fast, and is, you know, very smart, very, you know, makes a lot of pretty astute observations and everything. And one of their sons is like that, and the other one's more like Tommy, who's really physical and sort of quiet, and then all of a sudden he'll scream or like have something huge to say. I'll be like just so excited about like, you know, this butterfly he's caught or stuff like that.
Life was going well for the Lees. The paparazzi were a constant presence, but they were persevering. Then late in 1997, a major incident changed everything. Pam and Tommy's infamous sex tape was made on their honeymoon in 1995. The couple alleges a construction worker stole the video from their home during its renovation and sold it to a porn distributor.
They spent tons of money trying to get possession of the tape back, and really they just didn't want it out there. They didn't really care so much about getting cut in on the profits. Went through this really sort of long and complicated legal entanglement with the guy who got his hands on the tape, and they never ended up getting it. Basically, the courts ruled that it was newsworthy, and since they were public figures, the public had a right to see it.
The tape was outrageously popular and profitable. Author Jim Parrish.
It certainly caused quite a titillation because she's a very curvaceous, sexy person, and he's always known as a heavy partier coming from the rock world.
And the thing was like insanely lucrative. I forget how many millions it ended up grossing in the end.
It also marked the beginning of the enormously successful celebrity sex tape market. Documentary filmmaker Randy Barbato.
The Pam and Tommy Lee video was the beginning of it. It's a really hot video. It's so much better than the Paris Hilton video because they're talking dirty to the camera and stuff.
Pam's career was already built upon her sex appeal, so the videotape only helped to increase her popularity.
I think in the long run, it certainly has helped perpetuate her career because, unfortunately, in the chauvinistic world that we still live in, once a woman gets into her 30s, the public says, oh, she's not sexy, she's not pretty anymore. And particularly for a sex pot, that's very damaging.
The tape generated an enormous amount of press coverage, and all the attention tested Pam and Tommy's marriage.
The video was really kind of, it was definitely very stressful in their relationship. They'd sort of learned in one way or another to kind of survive the paparazzi onslaught, but this was just another huge nightmare that was like, kind of rained down upon them by this, insatiable kind of tabloid culture and the people that make it possible.
I think sometimes people focus on your personal life so much, and really they should just be enjoying you as an entertainer or an actress or not. But sometimes it just gets so turned around with all the tabloid television and tabloids that are out there now.
Pam and Tommy fought the press in more ways than one.
Tommy was already spending so much money by, after having assaulted a photographer and all these other settlements with people suing them for stuff. It was just this never-ending, mess of legal entanglements and kind of trouble. So it did start to definitely wear on their relationship. And I'd say it was probably the turning point where things maybe started to get a little rough.
Things went from bad to worse for the superstar couple. Pam filed for divorce in February of 1998 after Tommy was arrested for beating her.
Tommy did go to jail, and that was pretty much a life-changing experience for him, as one could imagine it would be. He was in solitary for the whole 4 months, and it was, it really shook him up. He went from pretty much a guy who's getting anything he wanted all the time to a guy who had to behave properly to get a pencil, and really kind of got his life together, or mentally dealt with a lot of emotional stuff that was just, he was acting out rather than sort of feeling out and understanding.
When Tommy got out of jail, he and Pam tried to reconcile.
He partially blames Pam for kind of sending him there. He was resentful for that. She was resentful for everything that led up to him going to jail. So they did try to get back together, and I think that it was just too soon, and the wounds were still too fresh, and it didn't really work.
The couple divorced in 1999. Eventually, they were able to overcome their differences and become friends for the sake of their boys.
They've definitely worked it out since, and now, I think considering all of that, it's amazing that they get along so well. There's real genuine love there when you see them together. They're like best friends, and they still like each other, you can tell.
Even after their divorce, Pam and Tommy are still popular with the tabloid press. Rumors that the couple might reunite keep their names in the headlines. Proof that a scandalous sex tape can't destroy a Hollywood career. It can only heat it up. The public has a voracious appetite for sex scandals, and the tabloid press is happy to serve them up.
If there wasn't a market to want to see it and to buy the paper or watch the TV show or look at it on the internet, then the paparazzi would get kind of bored. They could photograph their mother and, have a lot easier time.
But the press and the paparazzi weren't always so bold.
In the old days, the press knew enough or were limited to only deal with the star at the studio. Most any time there's some sort of sex scandal, it could really be hushed up to one degree or another, or a good spin put on it. As time moved on, the press got more adventurous. There were no studios, so they could certainly push into get what they wanted.
And right now, the public wants celebrity scandals. Pop culture filmmaker Fenton Bailey.
And so scandal and celebrity go together. I mean, they're inseparable. It's weird to sort of act as if, oh, well, you can be famous and somehow immune from scandal.